Super Rugby round number 2, folks. The teams have been announced. Who are the favourites, and which game are you most looking forward to in round number 2? We'll go through them pretty quick. You guys can let us know your thoughts. The opener, Hurricanes hosting Moana Pacifica from down in Wellington. Remember, this is the first game for the Hurricanes this season after sitting out week 1 on the bye. And Moana Pacifica had a pretty famous win away over in Fortress Lautoka in Fiji. But they've made a heap of changes. They got 7 debutantes in their team this week. Moana Pacifica, Miracle Failangi, who scored those 3 tries last week, he is dropping to the bench. Samisi Tupu Tailoa is not selected. And Alan Craig, who was also a bit of a workhorse on the carry, is dropping to the bench. They do have a Japanese international in Mamoru Harada, who is on the bench as well, who will get his Moana Pacifica debut. So welcome to Super Rugby for him. Remember, he's been the starting hooker for Eddie Jones as of last year. For the Canes, some big names. JORDIE Barrett back in Super Rugby after spending last season with Leinster. He captains the side from 12. Another Japanese international with a bit more of a New Zealand connection, Warner Durns. The big rangy lock, he is certainly a guy to look out for if you haven't seen the Japanese team play. Really fit, really mobile, really good in the air. Definitely one of the better locks in World Rugby, so he's spending a season with the Canes this year. He's starting. Roy Garder's on the bench. Josh Morby's back in Canes colours, so lots of good news. No Ruben Love, he's injured. No Duplessis Karifi, also injured. But yeah, Canes at home, pretty big-time favourites. 20 points with the Rugby Forecast algorithm, 21 with the bookies. But Moana were written off last week. See what they can do, but it does feel like an uphill battle with so many changes to their squad. Second game is Waratahs taking on the Drua. The Drua do not travel well at all. They're pretty bad on the road. And they were bad at home last week. They let in some pretty soft points against Moana Pacifica. They'll be looking to bounce back, but it feels like a pretty uphill battle for them. Some of the guys they lost in the offseason, like the Ikanaveri, Munts and whatnot, I think maybe it's going to be a test of their depth. They do have Isaiah Armstrong Ravula starting at 10 this week, so that's a bit of a boost because he's been kind of that 10 or 15 or bench guy with Fiji for quite some time. So he replaces Kemu Valetini. For the Waratahs, man, some of their key men, Jorgensen was on fire last week, Suali'i going up the guts. Potter would like to get himself into a bit of space. And then they got the former Crusader hooker, Ioane Moananu, who's a bit of a wrecking ball to get his Tars debut from the bench as well. Tars are big-time favourites at home. These are your 2 Friday games. 11 points, says the algo, and 13, say the bookies. So both of the home sides predicted to get pretty comfortable wins on the Friday. Saturday games is just the 2 because we have a Sunday game this week. Highlanders Chiefs on paper I feel like looks like the game of the round because both these sides coming off wins. The Highlanders with their win over the Crusaders last week. Chiefs came up to Auckland and got a win. So 2 games on the road for the Chiefs to start. 2 games at home for the Highlanders. Highlanders, man, with Jamie Joseph and all the All Blacks chat, they looked a good team last week. Their back row, TK Howden, Sean Withy, Lucas Casey on debut. These guys all looked absolutely cracking. Withy was tackling the house down. Tavatava Nawai captains the side at 12. Big on to carry, 3 at the breakdown. They got lots of defensive options, and they turned the Crusaders over a lot last week. It was a key part of their play. But for the Chiefs, some of their key guys who did well against the Blues, the likes of Samapeni Finau, he's out with concussion. Ratsama is off, I think, awaiting the birth of a child. Likewise, D-Mac. So it's Rowe and Jacob as the 9-10 combo for the Chiefs this week. They do have Leroy Carter. He's back. Remember, he was rested last week. He's on the wing. They've got Narawa on the bench. So Simon Parker on the bench. So they got some All Blacks guns in the squad. So it could be potentially the bench which makes the difference for the Chiefs. They're starting lock and duo, though. Vai and Lord, really, in terms of form and fit, All Blacks locks, certainly right up there. Vai's try from last week has since been retroactively, well, not chalked off because the game result stands, but they said it shouldn't have stood. So we'll see if the officials get the calls right. Officials get them wrong sometimes. I find that diving over the line law a bit confusing myself because was he diving to score? Was he diving to go over players? It's if the refs can get it wrong, well, I hope the rest of us have anyway, but it was just against my Blues. My Blues are the other team in action on Saturday. They were disappointing last week. I felt like they put themselves in a decent position, but neither them or the Chiefs played with much fluidity. Round 2, hopefully some of the rust has been shaken off, and the Force will be looking to bounce back because the Force got hammered at home by the Brumbies. The Force need to show us something else. They got some big gun players like Tom Robertson, Wallabies loose head prop. Brendan Paengamosa, big unit, Wallabies hooker. Harry Johnson-Holmes, he's back fit after missing so many seasons out. Was it 1 or 2 seasons out injured? So it's a big front row. Jeremy Williams, the captain's playing 6, and they got some big bodies, the Force. Some of their wingers like Dylan Peach still out, but they need to front up physically. For the Blues, Papali'i, remember he's leaving for the Northern Hemisphere at the end of the season, but he still captains the side. Sam Derry, unfortunately, is away with concussion. Bodie Barrett is still off, resting, but he'll be back soon. Petafeta still pulls the strings at 10. Tuangafasi is on the bench for this one, so hopefully he's able to, kind of get a good run of games after likewise missing a lot of rugby recently. But yeah, the Force are big-time underdogs at home. Blues by 16, says the algorithm. The bookies are a little bit less confident in the Blues, 9 points. So I guess a little bit less money is going on the Blues from the punters. And then the last one, Sunday game, afternoon rugby, Crusaders hosting the Brumbies. Remember, it's not at the new stadium yet. That's not until, I think, April. But, yeah, fingers crossed the weather is a bit better down in Christchurch for this one. Will Jordan gets a start. He was electric from the bench last week, busting tackles, scoring a try, breaking the line. So good news for Crusaders fans. Newell's getting a start. Tamaiti Williams on the bench. Lester Fanganuku is on the bench, but he'll bring some punch. So, yeah, a lot to like about the Crusaders at home. But the Brumbies, if there's a side amongst the Aussie sides which is going to go roll them down and crush it, you feel like the Brumbies have got the best shot. Charlie Cale was an absolute wrecking ball against the Force last week. He's there at number 8. What a guy. Another guy who missed a lot of rugby last year, injured, James Slipper, 200 caps. That's a hell of an achievement for him at Super Rugby level, so maybe they can galvanise around that man. But they are underdogs. 11 points, says the algorithm. 11 points, say the bookies. So, yeah, not predicted to come away with a win on Sunday. But, yeah, we will see. The Reds are on the bye for this one, so we'll see how they can bounce back in round 3. But they can sit and watch for this week. You guys let us know your thoughts. Which is the game of the round for you? As I said, on paper, it looks to be Highlanders Chiefs. But I'd love to see the Force give my Blues a run. I just hope the Blues play a bit better. And I likewise hope that the 2 Pacific sides aren't quite as written off as they are on paper. You guys take care of yourselves. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. More Super Rugby action coming your way. Talk to you guys again soon. See you later.